Good morning, student. I am your Stephen sir from ICRA English Medium. Today I am going to teach you subject English, standard 6th, and the book which I am going to use is Suckle. Chapter 1. Who did Patrick's homework? Patrick never did homework. Too boring, he said. He played hockey and basketball and Nintendo instead. His teacher told him, Patrick, do your homework or you won't learn a thing. And it's true, sometimes he did feel like an ignoramus, but what could he do? He hated homework. So basically, in this first paragraph, here it shows that Patrick is a lazy boy. He never wants to do his homework, and teacher also tells him to pay concentration on his homework, otherwise he will never progress. He is very fascinated about playing hockey, basketball and Nintendo instead of studying. Number 2. Then one day he found his cat playing with a little doll and he grabbed it away. To his surprise, it wasn't a doll at all, but a man of the tiniest size. So, here basically what happened, Patrick is having a cat. That cat was playing with a doll, and while Patrick saw it, it was not a doll, it was a tiny sized man. He had a little wool shirt with old fashioned breeches and a high tall hat, much like a witch's. So, what here it's trying to say that he saw a little tiny sized man wearing a woolen shirt and old fashioned breeches, and he's having a कैप लाइक अ विचेस मीन्स जो जादूगर होते हैं उनके पास टोपी होती है लाइक दैट टाइप ऑफ कैप. He yelled means, what is the meaning of yelled, my dear student? Yelled means चिल्लाना. Save me, don't give me back to that cat. I will grant you a wish, I promise you that. So what he is saying that save me from this cat and I will grant you a wish. So he promised that he will grant him a wish. Patrick could not believe how lucky he was. Here was the answer to all of his problems. So he said, only if you do all my homework till the end of the semester, that's 35 days. If you do a good enough job, I would even get A. A means A mark. So what condition Patrick's put towards this tiny little man, that 35 days he has to do his work and he can help him to get a grade marks. Grace mark means grade marks means A. The little man's face wrinkled like a dishcloth thrown in the hamper. He kicked his leg and doubled his fist, and he grimaced and scowled and pushed his lips. Oh, am I cursed? But I will do it. So the little man was upset, but he still told him, yes, I will do it for you because I have granted you a wish. And true to his words, that little elf, so his name was Elf. This tiny little man's name was Elf. The little elf began to do Patrick's homework, except there was one glitch. Glitch means there is one fault, a fault in the machine that prevent it from working. Probably here hitches or problem. So glitch means what, my dear student? Glitch means a problem. The elf did not always know what to do and he needed help. He help me, he says, and Patrick would have to help in whatever way. I don't know these words, elf squawked while reading Patrick's homework. Get me a dictionary. So when when Elf cannot understand something, he calls Patrick and he tells him, get me a dictionary. I don't understand about this word. And Patrick's help him all the time. No, what's even better? Look up the word and sound it out by each letter. When it came to Max, Patrick was out of luck. What what our timetable? The elf shrinked. So one day what happened? There was a max they were trying to solve, and Patrick was very poor in max. So one day Elf asked him what is timetable. We elves never needed that. And addition and subtraction and division and fractions. Here sit down beside me. You simply must guide me. So doing what Elf was doing, he was telling him to help him out. To whom help him out? To Elf. In what? So adding, subtraction, multiplication, fraction. You simply must guide me. Elves know nothing of human history. To them, it's a mystery. So Elf was not knowing about history. So the little elf already a shouter just got louder. Go to the library. I need books, more and more books, and you can help me read them too. So while history subject comes, then elves tell him, go to the library and bring me books. I will read more and more books for you. As a matter of fact, every day in every way that little elf was a nag. Nag means what? He was creating a nuisance, but he was helping him out. Patrick was working harder than ever he was at the drag. He was staying up night and never felt so worry. He was going to school with his eyes puffed and blurry. So here what he's trying to say that Elf was only giving him guidance, but all the work who was doing, Patrick was doing his own work. He was completing his all the task. Though Elf was guiding him, but all work who was doing, Patrick. His eyes was puffed. Puff means soot jana. Person who doesn't sleep regularly, his eyes gets puffed. Finally, the last day of the school arrived, and the elf was free to go as far as homework there was no more. So he quietly and silly slips out of the back door. Patrick got his A marks. His classmates were amazed. His teachers smiled and were full of praises. So at last what happened, my dear student? All his assignment was cleared and his teacher was also happy and he got A. Patrick was amazed. His teachers smiled and they would wonder what he had happened to Patrick. He was now the model kid. Clean his room, did his choir cheerful, never rude, like he had developed a whole new attitude. So he was totally changed. Yes, you see, in the end, Patrick still thought he had made that tiny man do all his homework, but he will share a secret just between you and me. It wasn't the elf. Patrick had done it himself. So the last word here trying to say that is it was not elf but it was a Patrick who did his homework himself. Thank you so much. So this was the explanation.